Welcome back to the channel. Today I've got H.H. from Sigma Comics. We've been following your journeys throughout America, visiting every big convention that's been going on. We know that New York City Comic Con is coming up, but apparently Sigma Comics will not be there. What the hell happened here, H.H.?
The word is we're banned from New York City Comic Con and all other ReedPop events. It's an order that I received from a fellow at ReedPop by the name of Gabe Yoakum, and that apparently was seconded by the president of the company, a gentleman by the name of Lance Fensterman. We reached out to them a few times. To date, we haven't heard back to try to resolve this in a positive way.
So you were at Emerald City Comic Con doing your hustle where you're out there, you're trying to get people interested in the comic book, come over to your booth, check out Here Comes the Calico.
Right.
And Gabe Yoakum comes over and tells you, I guess you weren't wearing your mask while you had your headset on. Is that what happened?
Yeah, we actually had the mask on. They had a policy in this particular show where you had to make sure you have the face mask to prevent the spread of COVID-19, which we always comply with, and we certainly did in this case. I was working the booths alone. As a result of the mask covering, we were in a place in the show that had a very wide aisle. In those circumstances, we have to use a headset because people who are walking by simply can't hear you when you're trying to communicate with them. In this case, we were asked repeatedly by prospective customers or actually informed that they couldn't hear what I was saying. So, of course, that's when I decided to wear the headset. Moments later, I guess someone complained, one of the neighbors, that I was using a headset. This fellow, Gabe Yoakum, came, got right in my face and said, "Hey, you got to take that headset off." I took it off right away, assuming that this was part of their policy. I followed up with an email expressing my concerns. Didn't hear back from him. I confronted him. He didn't like it. And this is only what I could assume. I confronted him again at the end of the show about him not responding to my email, my concern. Remember, I'm the customer here. And it turned into a little bit of a contentious interaction. He mentioned verbatim that if we didn't like their rules, that we could find another show. That to me is retaliatory language. Once we reminded him that what we're about, so we're an animal rights group. We may be a comic book publisher, but we are most certainly an animal rights group. That's what we are. We're comics with a cause. Through comics, we fight animal abuse. Through the Calico. Here comes Calico. We have people who love what we do and support us and what we do, and all we're trying to do is use these shows as a channel to spread the message of fighting against animal abuse. I guess he softened a bit. He communicated to me very clearly that we were going to be taken care of. He was going to look into making sure that we had a good space for New York Comic Con, and we shook hands. And that was that. I went on my way. And
so there was a little bit of a confrontation between you two. He told you to take the headset off. You took it off, and you never used it again.
Right.
You sent him an email to readdress it, and then you sent him another one. He never replied. You went up and confronted him like, "Hey, I sent you these things. I'm the customer. Why aren't you responding to what I've said? I wanted this addressed." Things got a little heated, and he said, "If you can take your business elsewhere." You guys furthered the conversation, and you said, "Let bygones be bygones." He shook your hand and said, "I'll have you a good space at New York City Comic Con."
And a few days later, I get an email from one of his team members saying that our contract was canceled. I followed up, copying him, saying, "Hey, what's this about? We shook hands. What is this? We thought we would get past this." He sends a terminal message saying, "We have reserved the right to basically engage as we engage, and good luck at other shows. We're not going to do business together." This guy's he's in charge there. He's the one who makes the decision, and he's the one who made the terminal order on us.
Have you used the headset at other ReedPop conventions?
Absolutely, never been an issue. We've never had problems. Sometimes
is this a specific policy for Emerald City Comic Con, or did he
I'm not aware. I'm not aware.
Hair up his ass or something?
I've seen many other people wearing them. I've seen people with microphones at these shows. So I honestly don't know what the policy is. The bottom line is he confronted us, asked us to remove it, and immediately we removed it. We complied, and that was it. Other than my following up and as a customer and expressing my concern as to why I felt the need to it, that's all I did from my perspective.
And you got the contract terminated. You got a message. You followed up, and he said, we're exercising our right to no longer do business with you.
That's exactly
You elevated it to Lance Festerman, the president of ReedPop.
Right.
And I saw some of this back and forth. You sent him a message, said, "Hey, these are my concerns." And his response essentially was a non-response. He responded just hoping that you would go away.
I guess, I didn't know what to make of that response. He basically just vouched for Gabe Yoakum there. And, mind you, this is someone who, according to his own words, he's known for quite a while. And, if anything, that only furthers, only makes it worse for us because, you're not only are you not giving us an opportunity to be heard, but you're deciding based on that relationship. I need to impress upon the audience here. This is the biggest show in town. New York Comic Con is the biggest by far comic book convention in town. We're a New York company, even though the company's headquartered in Florida. Our creative team is here. We're New Yorkers. If you haven't heard from my accent, they're taking away the biggest event. And, we do the ReedPop shows, multiple ones, in the hopes that finally we get to our home base and we don't have to pay all the money that we usually have to put out in lodging, in traveling, hotels, food, all these other transportation while we're there. It's a lot of money. So we spend easily thousands in all these events. And New York finally is our hometown where we can at least have some abatement of that. And here they go. And after we go ahead and spend all this money with in these other shows, they pull the rug out from us on this. It's just in my opinion, it's a horrible thing to do. It's a very unfortunate decision on their part. It's totally unnecessary.
Well, it's kind of cowardly if you confronted him. You guys talked it out. He shook your hand and said, I'll see you in New York. I'll have you a good booth. And then went behind your back and then canceled your contract without ever actually telling you what he thought you did wrong or letting you kind of work it out together.
Our legal team is working on lots of different avenues because we're definitely not going to let this stand. We conformed immediately to their policies, as we always do. This isn't an abnormal thing that happens West at a show. Whenever you, for whatever reason, go outside of the lines or whatever, thankfully, you have people to say, okay, this is how we do this. And, we conform. That's what happened here. It happens pretty much at every show. In this particular event, my suspicion is this fellow Yoakum didn't like that I was complaining and that I got, went up to him and confronted him a couple of times. I don't know. He's a pretty big guy. He's not a small guy. He's about 6 foot something, 200 something, 300 pounds. I don't know. He's a big dude is what it comes down to. And I don't know if that has to do with it. If he's used to pushing people around and getting his way and not appreciating customers confronting him, not being confronted. I absolutely confronted him. He ignored my messages. I'm the customer. And I don't know. Again, this is just assumptions by my point, from my perspective, because I don't know what would compel someone to make this extreme decision. Again, this is our local show, and he's booted us from it, and it's going to have an impact. And I can tell you that this is our company, and we're passionate about fighting animal abuse through comics, and we're not alone. We have a lot of people that are taking up our cause. I made it clear in my first message to Mr. Fensterman, I'm a fighter. We're all fighters. I'm just going to spend a couple minutes on this. One of our people who helps, we have a lot of people that help us. One of them is someone who recently witnessed a cat being shaken outside a third-story window. This happened in the South Bronx by the tail. And one of our people engaged that individual. That person came back down, punched her in the face. She got up and punched these people back. The point is that we do not accept fallacy. Okay, you came up to us and punched us in the face. You did us an incredibly big harm here. We're not going to take this lying down. That's one of our people. Okay, we're all like this. You're going to attack us. You're going to assault our company. We're going to make sure that we respond in kind. It's going to be sustained. Okay, we don't train for the one punch. We train for the long haul. This may take years. Our hope is to resolve this in a cordial manner. We have no problem. I never even met these people. I have no problem, receiving a positive response from them and working with them moving forward. This could just be a misunderstanding, one guy going rogue, or he could have had a bad day. I'm open to giving them the benefit of the doubt. What I'm not open to is being ignored and having our company assaulted like this in our most important show. This is a direct assault. Make no mistake, this is a direct attack and assault on our ability to compete successfully in our space, which is comics. It's the biggest show of the year. So it's not a good thing. That's what we're all about. We're about trying to do the right thing for animals. In our case, we fight animal abuse through comics, through Here Comes Calico.
What can people do if they want to support Sigma Comics, Here Comes Calico, and what happened to you guys with ReedPop?
We don't want anybody to get contentious here. This is something that happens between businesses. Just if you want to support our cause, just you can go to the New York Comic Con website. They have an about link there. You just click on that and go to the contact us section. And there you'll see all the people who are involved in the management. And, you are more than welcome to let them, know how you feel about this, in our opinion, terrible decision by them. As long as you do it in a respectful manner, we don't condone any kind of abuse, harassment, or any kind of contentious interactions like that. Just a very, respectful sentiment shared by yourself. Let them know how you feel. That'll go a long way, because I think at the end of the day that they'll act responsibly. Again, we've never had any contentious interactions with them, or frankly any other organization. We're happy to be a part of the events, and of course this benefits our cause, which is fighting against animal abuse through comics.
I do want to say thank you very much to H.H. and the guys from Civic Comics. We're obviously rooting for them in this one. Hopefully they get a good result from this. But this isn't the first time that H.H. and I have actually talked about conflict in comic books. We actually had a conversation not too long ago. We also talk about his project, Here Comes the Calico, how you can support it. If you haven't seen this video, definitely check it out. And there's a link in the video description if you'd like to see it there as well.